see if there's been any official messaging around those.
Yeah, just second. Getting echo. Can you hear me? Right? You guys can hear me. Mahendra Balaji, can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you?
just I'll just give one more minute and then we can start
Okay, sounds good.
because otherwise it will be repeated because a lot of questions will have lots of people will have the same questions. Okay. So what I know so far is they have clearly mentioned that renewals are not affected. So if you're filing the H1B extension, that should be fine. The H1Bs new if they are, and if you're filing it after today, like today or maybe whatever time you want to file now, they have to pay 100K fee. But the thing that is not clear to even attorneys is, let's say if you travel outside, if even if you have the H1B from past, which is cap counted, and you travel now and then return, is there any fee to be paid in that case or not? That is not clear to most of the attorneys, and that is still a gray area. So that's why most of them are just suggesting that do not travel if you don't have to. Just stay tight because the rules will keep changing, the exceptions will be added. Today we heard from Bloomberg that they are thinking about adding exceptions for doctors and nurses and whatnot, basically in the healthcare field, but not the IT guys. So people who are in the healthcare area providing direct healthcare services, those may be exempted. So that is one thing. Uh, so in a nutshell, what I understand is the transfers, change of status, amendments. Those are still under gray area. Nobody knows whether they will be affected or not because the USCIS clarification says that any new petition filed after September 20th will need to pay $100,000. And technically, whenever you file any transfer, change of status, amendment, or extension, they are considered as new request for a new period of work authorization. So that interpretation is still wide open for speculation, I would say, because they have not clearly and explicitly told that these are not included or excluded. So that's why most of the attorneys are taking a very conservative stance on it.
Anil,
Uh-huh.
the when you say renewals and extensions, are those two the same things when you use that term?
Yes, renewal, it's loosely called renewal because
Okay,
you already have an H1 and you're filing for another 3 years of
right.
period of work authorization. So it's loosely called renewal, but in real legal terms, it's called extension of status.
Okay. So renewals and
Yeah,
extensions, the message is it does not apply to renewals and
exactly.
extensions. Okay. But
Exactly.
it does
That's
apply to amendments, you said?
no. The USCIS FAQ section clearly says that renewals are excluded, but they do not exclude change of employer. They do not exclude uh, change of status. Like if you have any other type of visa, F1, B1, H4, L1, and then you're trying to convert it to H1, they do not explicitly exclude it from the presidential order. Similarly, you have amendments. If you are trying to change the job role or the client or whatever position you are doing, you're trying to change it into something else, they do not exclude it explicitly. They have only written one line about renewals, that renewals are excluded from $100,000 fee. So for other three types of petitions, attorneys are interpreting it in a very conservative manner, saying that we don't know because on paper it doesn't say anything about it. So we cannot assume that they are excluded. you have to assume that they are included in the order,
Got you.
right?
Okay.
Unless they explicitly say that, okay, you don't need to pay, we assume that we have to pay. So
Got you.
maybe, I mean, it will take some time, like a week or two, to understand if some attorneys are filing transfers and then they are not asked to pay the $100,000 fee, then we will get the clarification that, okay, they are not asking for it. And the other angle to this story is, let's say, if you're traveling outside the US and applying for visa, will they ask you to pay $100,000 before they approve your visa? Oh, visa, not the pizza. Because the proclamation says that your visa will not be approved unless you have paid the $100,000 fee. So, because see, the way proclamation was written, it was blocking pretty much everyone on H1B, but the different agencies have given their own interpretation, and those interpretations do not match exactly with the proclamation order. So attorneys are trying to interpret in a very conservative manner so that there are no mistakes. They have a lot at stake with their clients and other stuff. So that's the current understanding.
Hey, Anil, Balaji here
Yes.
again.
Yeah. Hi,
Uh,
Balaji.
hey, just a question. I know
Mhm.
maybe my kind is a little bit of a minority here. I'm a Canadian citizen and I'm on H1. So, anything different that it would be, applicable for Canadian citizens who are on H1? Um,
No.
because
Interestingly, there is nothing country based in H1B.
Yeah, just because
Yeah.
it's a visa waived country, right? So at what point would be applicable? Like I'm currently on H1. For me to go back and forth, would that be any kind of impact between US and Canada traveling? That's the
Right now, see, I'm not an attorney, so I'm just sharing my opinion about the whole
sure, sure.
situation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the current order is explicitly about H1B visa. It doesn't matter if you are Canadian citizen, Indian citizen, Chinese citizen, or XYZ country citizen. As long as your visa terms are same as what is written in the presidential order, then you are affected. As a Canadian citizen, you have other options like to change your visa from H1B to some other work visa. That way, you have a backup available, but other country citizens may not have that option. And secondly, yeah, that's what it is. Does it answer your question?
Yeah, sure, sure. No problem. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome, and thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Anybody else has any question and you want
Yeah,
to speak
Anil, I have a
your
question.
opinion?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Anil
sure.
here from Dallas. So I have a question. So my H1B extension is approved last month. I got an approval notice also. It's approved till August 2028. So
Okay.
already scheduled a visa stamping slot in India on November 6th. Is it good to travel now?
Well, in my opinion, you should not travel, but it depends on you because there is no clarity whether you will be asked to pay 100K or not.
But one of my friend, he attended
Hmm.
the visa interview today morning
Okay.
in
Okay.
Hyderabad. He got an approval.
Uh-huh.
They didn't ask anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
But what is the guarantee that they won't ask you to pay at airport?
that's what my question.
See, as of now, a lot of people have entered after
Hmm?
September 20th. I know a lot of people have entered on H1B and H4 and they were not asked to pay.
Yeah.
So that way it is safe, right? As of now, you can travel, but you never know what kind of exceptions, what kind of new rules they might add tomorrow. That's the risk that I'm telling you that it's better to avoid travel because you don't know. Like from Friday to today, there have been so many changes. The way the order was written, it blocked everyone from entering, right? But today they have created exceptions, and then now they are even thinking about doctors. So you never know. It's like very dicey situation, and unless it is an emergency situation in your home country, it's better to stay back and hold on to the travel because you don't want to be in that stress that you have to fly immediately, and if something comes up again, maybe on Wednesday or Tuesday, and you are outside, then it will be difficult,
Yeah.
right? See, imagine if they had not changed the order or not clarified on Saturday and Sunday. People were in so much of stress. Their companies called them that come back immediately by tonight or just stay back, right? They were on the verge of losing their job. Which company will pay 100K? Right? Tell
Yeah.
me.
No one.
No one, right? So they will just probably ask you to stay back and live there, and you have home here, you have school,
Yeah.
children's school, car loans, and so things. So, I mean, it's a very critical situation. I'm not saying that don't go, it's your personal judgment, but if
Mm-hmm.
I was in your place, I would try to avoid that stress.
Got it. Yeah.
Stress of unknown, right?
Got
Because
it.
we don't know what can happen tomorrow or maybe after 2 months. Because the if I understand the situation correctly, this is not just a step. They are taking many more steps. Okay, this is just the trailer of the movie.
Mm.
Okay, so they can announce lot of other stuff to block it this way or that way.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay, so be very careful about your next steps. What are you going to do in next couple of months?
Mm-hmm.
And keeping in mind the market conditions, it's very difficult. If you lose the job, it's nearly impossible to get it again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so just, I mean, think about all those situations and then take a calculated risk.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anil.
And I think,
Yeah,
Anil, we touched on this yesterday, I think, is
yeah,
I think the executive order is sort of this first step of sort of communicating the intent from the White House. And then I think once that is done, and then you usually have like a broad communication of intent, which is what the proclamation was. And then from this point
right,
onwards, I think all the agencies will now start turning that sort of broad statement of intent into something more concrete and start writing rules and regulations. So I think, in
right,
fact, I think it does mention specifically for Department of Labor, for example, to start looking at prevailing wages as an example, right? So it very explicitly states that. So similarly, I think like the Department of Homeland Security, which sort of, USCIS is a part of that. So they will start looking at what that means to them and new petitions or amendments and renewals. And so I think they'll start turning that into more concrete and specific things. And similarly, Department of State is going to start looking at it, and they're going to start turning that into specific things for visa issuances and all. I think so. Each of these, I think the intent is clear, and now it's going to trickle down to the Department of Labor and Homeland Security and Department of State and all these individual agencies to start turning that into some more actionable things. And that's probably why I think in the first week or whatever, I think people traveling and coming in now, I don't think they are actually getting, stopped or anything because I think it's not turned into anything yet. It's just a proclamation, and that doesn't mean anything until I mean, it hasn't been acted on yet. And as that gets acted on by the different agencies and trickles down into actual, rules and regulations, I think there will be a little bit of uncertainty here.
right, right. I agree that this is just the first step, and that wage increase rule is already under progress. They will be announcing it maybe very quickly in the short term. And that's going to increase the wage level requirements across the board for H1B. And you never know what will the companies do. And there are more actions planned. They have written it somewhere, I think, in the proclamation or somewhere I was reading, and it was the official government document that these are just the initial steps, and we are thinking about a lot more. So there are a lot of things going to happen. So travel is what is in your control. So my personal opinion is you may disagree with it, and a lot of attorneys might disagree with it, but you are the one that you have to think about your family, your situation, and what actions will result in I don't know how to put it. Uh, Basically, you are in control of your travel situation. Everything else is out of your control, right? what kind of rules they will make, what kind of decision the government will take, what kind of bans the government will put. Those are not in your control. But what is in your control is travel. As long as you are in the US, you have that kind of protection that the government cannot change the rules within US immediately without Congress approval. That's what I understand. That it is much more difficult to change the rules for people who are physically in the US than for the people who are trying to enter the US. So that way you have one level of safety net while you are physically here. But if you are physically outside, then the game changes completely. The odds of you winning the game are very low in that case. So that's my opinion. Rest is up to you and your individual situation, how you want to take it, what actions you want to take, and what kind of backup plans you have. Take those decisions and then make the travel plans. So as of now, the travel, they have clearly mentioned that if you have the visa and or if you have the approval, you can go get the visa and come back. That is allowed. But nobody knows, none of the attorney gave any clear answer to the question that if you are coming back, whether you will be asked to pay $100,000 or not today or tomorrow, or maybe they might send the bill after 10 days or maybe a month. So nobody knows answer to that question. Okay. Was that Balaji who asked that question? We have two Balajis. One is Balaji San and one is Balaji Reg. Okay, I guess Suraj, you joined as a speaker. You want to share your opinion or you have a question?
No, no, I don't have no questions.
Or you just wanted to be a speaker? That's
I
fine.
think
It's okay.
myself being a speaker.
Okay. Anybody else wants to be a speaker? We have a lot of spots available. Okay. One thing, if your name is not clear, I won't allow the speaker access because then things might get dirty if your name or the photo is not clear from the text title. Okay, I think someone joined as a
Uh,
speaker.
Hi Anil, this is Kranti. Um, Hi. So again, I am also in the same boat.
Mhm.
So even I do
We
have a travel plans. Like again,
we
things
are
are
all on the same cruise ship. Don't worry.
yeah right. So I mean I was a little surprised on Friday when
Uh-huh.
the say live session they say something on the live, and after that on the doc on the website it was has a different meaning,
Yeah.
um, and again on Sunday it was a little bit enhanced. I mean I was little confused because it's again as you mentioned, like it's so easy, like because see frankly 100K per company, I don't think it's possible. Like even no company, unless until the company who really wanted, who can pay like 300 to 400K, then only they can invest 100K for on a person. So do you think is this really I mean um is worth of it, or I mean I don't know, that's what I was like so is some I don't see anything reality to, that's what I feel. So
See, practically, it's a cost to the business, right? Whenever you are hiring an employee, you budget for everything, right? If a project is for $10 million and you need maybe 15 people to do it, you will budget your costs, your infrastructure costs and everything. So this 100K is a straight cost to your business. So, and businesses plan like 1 or 2 or 5 years in advance about what they want to do and how much revenue they're going to get from this. So if I understand it correctly, most of the small companies, consulting companies, they are just never going to pay for that. They are going to get rid of the H1B employee and maybe hire locally. or maybe they will move job to near shore like Mexico or Canada, or maybe some other country. That's what will be the usual response of a business, unless they have a better strategy or they are, you know, controlled by the law that you cannot move this kind of data access or this kind of services outside the nation. Like in care of healthcare, there are some laws where, with respect to where the data can be accessed, whether it can be moved outside US or not, and how can people access it. And the other day, there was one guy who had a very deep knowledge about this data protection. He had shared in our live session that there are ways that these companies are circumventing that as well by data, some kind of data technology which hides the or converts the data into a manner that can be accessed outside the US and still be able to comply with the law. Some kind of data fabrication or some kind of technology is there. I'm not aware of it completely, but he mentioned that there are those rules are also circumvented easily. So uh, there is no denying the fact that the first response may be that the companies will move job outside the US because nobody wants to pay that kind of tariff and that too per person. It's not like per company for all the employees, it's per person. If a company like TCS or Infosys or so and so are hiring like maybe 90 employees out of 100 on H1B, or maybe I don't know how much is the percentage. Let's say 50% employees are on H1B, then it's straight 50,000 into 100K cost to the company added just by doing nothing, right? Just by the order. In the next 1 year, if they have to hire new graduates, they have to pay that kind of money. So either they will try to just renew the H1B of the people who have already been hired, or they will move them offshore. That's what is going to be the first response. Let's see what companies will do. They might just lobby for themselves and they might be able to get an exception added by the government. Just like for doctors, I heard in the news that they are strongly thinking about doctors to be excluded from this order. But in the original text, doctors were not excluded. Every agency is trying and they are interpreting it in a very different way, which does not really match with the text of the original signed presidential order. So we will have to wait and watch how this is implemented.
Here maybe I want to throw an example.
Mhm.
When I take the birthright citizenship, like which was issued by government, there is a order, right? So even now, people are getting birth certificates. As I know, there was no issues, but the media or whatever the TV news or whatever. So due to social media, I mean, few of the people thinks like, okay, birthright citizenship is in place, right? That kind of publicity or that kind of awareness, like due to social media, people, half of the people usually thinks in that way. Okay, birthright citizenship is in place, but in reality, that is not implemented. That's what I know in couple of my friends already got. So I mean, because just placing an order, like again, that comes to reality definitely takes some time. But in here, the problem is, I know there was a news, there was a order which was displayed, but again, I don't know how long it will take in come to reality. As I think the Balaji mentioned, like they will be preparing in the background some sort of documentation to send to the required departments, and they will learn how, what, etc. But until that time, agreed, if I go out of country, if I'm coming, if the officer asks me to pay the 100K, I can't do anything. There is no um proper answer for that. Some officer may say like, okay, yes, you have to pay, or some officer may say like, okay, you can go. We cannot question them if they ask. We cannot question them if they didn't ask to. right? But that's create lots of insecurity. Again,
Right.
that's good.
I
Right.
mean,
That's why I'm saying that it's best to avoid the travel if you can, because there are very different interpretations everywhere, and you might get lucky if they choose you to apply the very rigorous conservative opinion on at the airport, and then it will become very difficult for you and your family. So please try to avoid as much as you can. If you can't avoid, then just travel. That's your choice. Yes, someone was trying to speak. Please go ahead.
Hey Anil, my name is Venu. So sorry, I joined a bit late, but if it was answered already, I'm sorry. But couple of things, which are not clear from this, so much news is going on, right? One is what is going to happen for the renewals. Is it anything linked to I-140 approval, right? Because it is first time means like in the proclamation they said like every year for 6 years. That's what Mr. Latnik mentioned. And then renewals is also not very clear. Is it going to be impacted or not? I mean, someone goes to India and try to renew from there. Do they also have to pay 100K? That's one thing. And second
Uh-huh.
one is about this DOL, whatever they are working, Project Firewall, I think. I know
Hmm.
it is very speculative at this moment. Like, how is it going to be? Like, is it like exorbitantly high, or do they have any particular rationale behind how that would be evaluated and they come with the new numbers, new salaries, like level one to level four, or kind of they go with like, oh, only level four salaries would be, qualified. I mean, what's your take generally? I understand it is more like a speculation.
So, if you talk about rationality, how do you think they came up with $100,000 fee number? Does that sound rational to you? That will sum up the whole story. They are just trying to, disrupt everything without having some kind of rational thinking behind it. See, the way the order was written, it was very clear that they have not thought through the various situations that can happen. Because they only probably thought, that's my understanding, that, H1B is only used by IT people, right? So they were just angry on the IT salaries. And even if you see the narration on social media, they only talk about those kind of salaries. But the reality is very different. Reality is that doctors also use pretty much anybody from India who wants to come to US on skill-based, employment-based work visa, they have to use H1B. There are very limited other options available, right? So
Right.
they just want to stop it completely. As the order was written on Friday, the intention was to completely stop H1B, and everybody had to pay $100,000 fee. So this is not actually the if you talk to any business owner, they will say that if you add $1,000 fee, $2,000 fee, 5,000, 10,000, but how do you come up with $100,000 fee? $100,000 is not even the salary, right? Sometimes, in some of the rare cases, there might be a case that 100,000 is the starting salary. Think about the people who are graduating from college. Will they be able to fetch an offer which has $100,000 fee attached and then maybe $100,000 $100,000 salary? So the employer has to spend $200,000 plus attorney fees, the regulation fees, and everything. So the cost will actually be $230,000 at least to hire a recent graduate from the college. How will they justify that cost?
Well, to me, it looks like maybe, they did not. Again, this is like, a hypothetical theory. I don't have any concrete evidence to tell, but maybe they want to
Yeah,
restrict the news to themselves and people who are in haste, they gave this particular proclamation.
right,
But the
right.
reality is different. Like it can't work. Maybe eventually that may be the goal. Like to restrict as much as possible. It's not like they can switch it off and overnight something would completely stop. And that's when I'm thinking like this, Caroline putting that message. No, it is not for someone already working. Maybe it is only whoever is coming. uh, that is there, maybe, but as the news is going to the different departments and they're realizing the pragmatic or practical implementation is not going to be easy, it's kind of, overnight can be done. But the thing is, this particular one thing can definitely happen. 100K also, maybe it is challenged in the court and we'll see what would be the outcome. But irrespective of all this, whether that is 100K or they may come down to 25K or that will be completely whatever it was. But Department of Labor, whatever they are doing, that's going to happen because that is very serious one and that significantly impact. It doesn't matter whether you're inside or outside. If they bump it to two times of what we have today, then I think that's near impossible to challenge in courts.
Yes, I agree with you because they tried doing the same thing in their first term, Trump's term. They actually proposed the new wage rules, and those wages were exorbitantly increased. Yes, you're right. And this time, I think they are just working on very, very irrational numbers. I mean, from their point of view, they are rational, but others may have a different opinion. But yes, this time it is expected that those numbers are going to be very, very weird. So you never know until they come out. And yes, you are right. Those wage rules are being, uh, made through the proper rulemaking process so that they cannot be struck down by court easily. And then they will affect people who are physically in the US. I think their first attempt was this travel ban, and then second in the list is definitely the wage rule. And they are not going to stop there. They are saying that there are going to be many more rules to restrict H1B. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, as it goes, it is downhill only. There is nothing like status quo or returning back is something, forget about it. It is all
Yes, yeah.
downhill and more
Right.
than anything, last time, 2016, the market was really great. Still, then there was a lot of pressure to amend all these H1 rules. And today, two fronts are there. One is the AI itself is challenging a lot. Whatever the jobs gone are really not being refilled, what I'm seeing from the market. And two, for whatever the other reasons, market is also not really active. There are now new jobs as such. On top of that, inflation. So it is really
Right. Right.
stagflation and no jobs. And
Right.
second term, everything is kind of added up and it is just blown out of proportion.
Right. Right. I agree that the market is pretty bad. And second thing is AI on top of it. The big tech companies are trying to force AI into everything, and that will definitely shake the market as well. So the repeating jobs, even the software engineer jobs at the junior level are at risk, very high risk. I have tried the AI coding and everything, and it's actually very scary to see what AI can do. Everyone's job is at risk right now. And the first thing they will do with H1B is they might just ask them to go back. And at this point of time, the new jobs are not getting created at the same rate as the last year. So yes, the market is very tough. I agree with you on that point as well.
Sure. So coming back to my last, coming back to
Hmm.
the original question. This is my last question.
Hmm.
I will let others to talk.
Yeah, yeah,
If
sure.
a person goes out of, goes to India or out of US,
Hmm.
and it happens to expire over there,
Hmm.
which is already, already is the cap exempt. In that
Hmm.
case, this 100K applicable based on current understanding.
So as of right now, they have clearly mentioned that renewals are not affected. So renewal generally means that you are extending your H1B for the same employer and the same job role. That's what is the normal meaning of the renewal.
But
So
there is a catch. Every time they are saying it is visa, not petition. So
Yeah.
when
So
you have the visa, you can go come in without any issue or don't have to pay. But we
yeah,
call it as petition, right? When extension renewal would be a petition, not a visa.
yeah. Right. So they are using it confusingly. They have not clearly mentioned what are they talking about at any sentence. Because USCIS is solely responsible for petition approval. They don't approve visas, right? You
True.
can't even apply for visa with USCIS. Visa is completely a responsibility of US consulate and the embassies, and those are governed by a different department of government than USCIS. So yes, you're right. There is a lot of confusion out there. But as of today, my understanding is that they are trying to say that whatever is already approved and you are just applying for a renewal of the same thing, then you don't have to pay 100K. But they have not explicitly excluded the H1B transfers, change of status, and the third thing, amendments. So attorneys are also suggesting that be very careful. We are still watching the rules, and then maybe in 1 week's time, because somebody will file transfer or something, and then we will get to know. The third angle to the story is, let's say that even if they don't charge $100,000 fee for transfers, change of status, and amendment within US, what will happen if that person travels outside US and then tries to come back? Because the whole travel ban was for people coming from outside into the US. Right. So right now they have clarified that renewals are safe, but they have not clarified whether transfers, change of status, and amendments are safe or not. That still needs to be clarified by at least USCIS or the Department of State.
In USCIS memo, if you really see, they always said visa only. They did
Yeah,
not tell about the petition, which is where the
exactly.
renewals and transfers or change of status would play in. So it appears,
Exactly.
I mean, to me, the only thing I can take away positively is if I have a stamped visa, yes, or I
Yes.
already have a approved petition, probably if I go to India, I get an appointment and I get a visa, probably I can enter it.
Right.
But renewal petitions or transfers or change of status, still that ambiguity is there. It is still questionable.
Right. That's what I shared on X, but a lot of people just abused me saying that you should listen to better attorneys and this and that. I told them, man, they have, when you really apply and check the legal language in USCIS memos and what they write on their website, you will understand the difference between the kind of language they use, right? Even a single word can mean a lot of different situations are not covered. So yes, I agree with you that they need to clearly and explicitly mention that these people are safe and these type of applications are safe and not covered, but they have not done so. Because the
This,
one of the lines says that any new H1B application filed on or after September 21, each renewal, transfer, and amendment and change of status are new applications always. They are not repeat, right?
it's quite mercurial right now. Like what they gave in the proclamation, what USCS is saying, what attorneys are interpreting. There is nothing like one fact here.
Right.
Many,
It's
many ways.
right. Everyone has their own interpretation, and attorneys are just trying to read the text and trying to understand it from the legal point of view, right? Because if they have to challenge it in the court, or if there is some kind of RFE, or if the USCIS officer says that you have to pay the $100,000 fee, the attorney has to defend it by citing or quoting the official government order, right? And the official government order is very vague. So it depends on the officer's interpretation. If the officer says you have to pay, then what will the attorney do? So that's why the attorneys are also treading it very carefully and they're not giving any guidance, which is actually not explicitly mentioned in any of the interpretations of USCIS or CBP or the other departments. So they are playing safe. And that's the right way to do it, I would say.
Sure. Uh,
I,
if anyone else talk doesn't talk, I will take it later. Go ahead, Anil.
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
anyone else wants to?
I have one thought, Anil. I think again, this is not in any official language, but I mean, the just sort of reading between the tea leaves, my thoughts is I think there's two specific things that I think they're trying to go after. One is I think you guys just talked about this, which is the result of AI, and even if you look at some of the youth unemployment rate right now, like recent college grads in America, they are not getting that youth unemployment rate, like out of college graduate unemployment rate, has I think gone up to close to 10%. And that's caused a lot of anxiety across the board, that even American kids that are going to American colleges are not getting jobs. So I think one specific area that they're looking at is making sure that those entry level jobs do not go to American graduates versus foreign students, right? So I think that's one particular area that they're targeting. The other area that I think they're targeting is from these consulting companies, where they apply for H1B from overseas, so from India or whatever, they apply for H1B and they bring a candidate fresh from India to the US. So these are, I think, two very specific conditions that they are specific areas where they're trying to target. I don't think that the intent for them is to go over I mean, sort of go after the healthcare sector, or go after even like cause disruption to existing businesses, right? Businesses that already have employed H1B visas, and people that
Hmm.
employees that have already trained and worked
Hmm.
in the company and been there for many years. I don't think the intent for the administration is to go after them, or again, because they all, I think, understand that that's going to cause immediate disruption to the business, because these are employees that are working and contributing, and the cost of sort of losing an employee and hiring somebody else and retraining is a lot for the company. So I think that's a lot of cost, even just to lose an employee and just hire somebody and retrain. So I think it would cause a massive disruption if that was, every company in the US would have to go through, sort of losing a whole lot of H1B employees and hiring Americans and retraining. It's even if they were there, I think there would be massive cost. So I don't think the administration is trying to cause that level of disruption. I mean, already we all know how much the tariffs have impacted the businesses across the board. So businesses are just trying to even sort of get to some point of stability with the tariffs, and that's still an ongoing thing. And on top of that, for them to deal with this additional cost and all that would be way too much disruption for the businesses as they are today. So I think if you look at the other two categories I mentioned, which is going after entry level grad jobs and then going after new H1B issues issued to people that are applying from international, I think those two categories does not immediately impact businesses locally. So I think those are the things that I feel that's the intent of the whole executive order, and I think the intent of the administration is to go after those two specific situations. Any thoughts, comments on that?
Right. I think you have a point, and I agree to some extent that yes, they are trying to make sure that the US graduates do get an opportunity if anyone else gets it. Yes, you are right. But then I think the universities, the for-profit universities, will have a hard time, uh, digesting this fact because they make a lot of money with international students, and that's in billions of dollars. So I'm hoping that they will lobby and they will try to get some exceptions for them in this order. Otherwise, they stand to lose a lot of money.
Yeah, I think end of the day, end of the day, I think everybody is going to lobby, right? I think including
Exactly.
the IT companies, Indian IT companies have a lobby. They're going to try to lobby. Universities are going to try to lobby. Hospitals are going to try to lobby. Immigration
Right.
attorneys are going to try to lobby. So I think everyone is going to try to minimize impact to themselves, and which means that at the end of the day, nobody might be impacted, right? But I think in
Yeah.
practicality, right? But in practicality, I think the administration is clear on one thing, which is they want to protect jobs for new college grads. I think that seems like a clear thing. And the other thing is the Indian consulting companies. And I think those two things are, I mean, not Indian particularly, but just consulting companies that generally, if you look at sort of wages across the board, and sort of the spread of wages and averages and whatnot, you can generally see the pattern of that being differentiated across US companies, like if you look at the big seven companies versus the other companies, you can see that being a clear difference. Where a lot of level one, level two wages goes to consulting companies, whereas level three, level four goes to more of the US based companies. So they can see that difference very clearly in the data. So I think they are definitely going after that category, and the at least that's my read of it. Is I feel like those are two categories they're going after.
Right. Agree. Okay. Anyone else has any question? I think we have one one guy who was an attorney in the US, but he is not requested to speak. He, he has been in touch with me for quite some long time, and he was working as an attorney in USA, and he has joined the and Nama Mukun immigrant. If you want to join, you can join and speak. Nama Mukun. That would be great because you were working as an attorney, if I'm not wrong, in US, but now you're in India. People would like to have your opinion. Okay. While we wait for other people, does anyone else has any question or they want to
Hey,
speak?
Anil, this is Nilanjan.
Mhm.
First of all, thank you for hosting this. Really
Yeah, you're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I've been following your website for a really long time. I've seen your vlog on that stamping at Laredo, right? Going out of the border. It was really helpful. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So you have given with screenshots and all description, right? So it was really helpful. So I just wanted to say that. And the next thing is yeah, regarding this extension. So I have an
Uh-huh.
extension coming. My current visa is expiring in February 2026. So my company is planning to file for renewal. So first question is, does this 100K rule applies to my scenario?
For extensions, as of now, you are not affected. You're safe. They
Okay.
have explicitly mentioned that renewals are out of the presidential order, so you're safe.
Okay, and then after, if I, let's say I go back to India for some reason and come back, do I need to pay at that time? No, right? Or
But
how is it?
as of today, no, you don't need to pay.
Okay,
But
okay.
tomorrow morning may be different situation based on what kind of dreams he gets, and then you never know, right? Every morning is a new morning.
Mm, true.
So just
Mm,
be very careful. But as of now, yes, you can go, you can file extensions, and you're not affected.
okay, thanks for that. Yeah, I have one more question. So my wife is currently working on H4 EAD based on
Uh-huh.
my I-140. So next
Uh-huh.
year, if her employer is planning to file for H1 and it gets picked up, it will be a change of status from H4 to H1B. So at that time, does her employer has to pay this 100K or it
Yes,
will not?
most probably yes. That's what I understand as of today, because they have not clearly said that change of status is excluded. So
Okay.
we are so I'm taking the conservative view as depending on, I've listened to many attorneys and their opinions, and most of them have the opinion that unless it is explicitly written in the order, I mean the instructions that USCIS has given, then you cannot assume that they will exclude it. So unless they explicitly say it, assume that you have to pay. That's
Okay.
what is the conservative view. But yes, it is possible that they might clarify it if when someone files it and then they don't ask for the fee, then we will know. That attorney will definitely share that
Mhm.
information, and then I'll pass it on to my Twitter or whatever medium I choose to share. I will share that information. But as of now, I would say that assume that you might have to pay.
So is it every COS like F1 to H1 as
Yeah.
well, or F1 to H4 too?
There is no information about that. That's what I'm trying to say. They have
Okay,
not
COS, no information. Okay.
no information. So in case of no information, assume that you might have to pay because you cannot assume the other way. right? Assuming that you will not have to pay is more dangerous than assuming that you might have to pay. They should clearly tell that, okay, change of status is excluded. They have not said that. They have only said that renewals are not affected. So most of the attorneys are saying that transfers and change of status and amendments is gray area right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for taking my question.
Yeah. And to be very clear, I'm not an attorney. And so my advice is not a legal advice. I'm just sharing what I understand from the sources that I am reading from and I'm listening to. And I listen a lot and I read a lot. So I would say that I have a pretty good understanding of the current situation. But it
Yeah, I
depends
completely
on, yeah,
understand that.
right, yeah. So if you are actually filing the application, it would be better that you talk to the attorney, the legal attorney, then they will be able to guide more. Okay, this
Okay.
is just the general information that I'm sharing. Like, the like the Arnab Goswami shares in India. I'm just the messenger. Okay.
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 Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thanks for joining and asking the question.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Anyone else wants to have an opinion?
Hey, Anil, this is Mohan. So, man, I've been following you for, don't know, quite some time, and probably I'm talking to you for the first time. And thanks to the service that you're providing to our guys, man. So, I know you're not an attorney, so I think we exchanged a couple of times messages one on WhatsApp as well, right? So, yeah.
Okay.
So the
That's good.
question I have, yeah,
Uh-huh.
great. So, Anil, I don't know, you or someone on this group now can elaborate what does it mean to us? How do we prepare? Uh, especially when people are here for over a decade, right? So let's say if you take my experience, Anil, I've been living here. My overall experience is more here than what I was doing in India, right? So uh, when looking at some of these proclamations, right? So I don't know, and you and others stated saying, right? So lot of the factors and situations are not considered looking at the the way order was signed. So people like us prepare uh, prepare
Hmm.
for project firewall that DOL stated on their Twitter
Hmm.
accounts, right? So what does it mean to us? Like how should we prepared for, right? So yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a very valid question. And the message is very clear. Okay, so if you can read it, it is there right after you, right after everyone on H1B. And they are even trying to find gaps in green card holders and naturalized citizens. And then, I mean, the idea from the government is that whatever, if you have done some kind of wrong, then you have to be deported. And the second thing is they have extended the definition of the wrong as well. If you look at the naturalization interview or the naturalization process, they have added the condition that they might go for your neighborhood interview as well. They might go and ask people around your house and neighborhood about your moral character. So, as of now, what they are saying is simply not having any kind of history with negative history with the law is not enough. You need to have a good moral character, and that has to be proved by checking with your neighborhood. So even if you had a fight with your neighbor, like a small brawl, and he's not having a good opinion about you, might keep you away from getting naturalized. Also, that's what it means. So, given the kind of rules they are adding to every step of the legal process, you can take a clue from there and understand what is in store for you as an individual. People who are on H1B right now, they are in very, very, how do you say, they are on very shaky ground. Anything can happen any day. right? Like on Friday, it was a very, very desperate situation when every company, including Microsoft and Amazon, they just simply announced immediately come back within 24 hours or just stay wherever you are. Don't even try to fly. That was definitely a very desperate situation, right? People who have house here, car loans, school kids, school, and the whole of their life is settled here because they have been waiting for green card for more than 10, 15 years. When they have everything set up here, and let's say that if they are not able to come back, or the company, you know, terminates them because they don't want to pay the 100K fee. I mean, your life will turn upside down in just one single day, right? That can happen to anyone. I mean, if you are, we are lucky that we were physically in US, but people who were not physically in US, they were unlucky, right? So you cannot guess those things. They just are trying to add the surprise element to everything. So yes, your question is very valid that how should we plan for it? The only thing that you can plan is, as per my opinion, is that whatever is in your control, try to control that. The first thing is the travel that you can
Hmm.
control it. And the second thing is if you have the money, then try to expedite your green card process as much as you can, but with whatever legal options you have available. Like
True.
many people are eligible for EB1, then just go for it. Don't even think twice if you are eligible. If you can get the EB2 NIW processed, then get it done because EB2 NIW helps you score I-140 on your name. So your company's dependency goes away. That is the other option. And the third is EB5. The good thing is that EB5 for Indians is current right now. And a lot of Indians who filed in like 2023 and 2024, they've already got the green card in within 1 year. So those are the three options that are legally available for you. If you can, just go for it. Don't even think twice because the road ahead is very bumpy and you never know what bump can fracture your leg, right? So just consider yourself lucky that you survived this storm, but there are more storms coming up. The weather, I mean, the global weather is changing. In fact, every other country has the sentiment that immigrants are not required, just send them back because every country is facing the heat. Okay, so you may not find, like it happened with Canada last year. This year it's happening here. I've heard that Germany is also, yeah, Australia is on the same path. Germany also has this sentiment, and people are saying that the government may win there with this sentiment also. So if you go out of US, you may not find very much options as well. Second thing is the the Canadian, the Australian, and Germany, and most European countries, they are very recipient to immigrants if you are in the working age. Like if you are less than 40, then their programs are very good. They will let you come based on your skills and your language and other things. But once you cross 40, their point system starts, negating your chances because your working age is reduced. The concept is that the more working age you have, the more taxes you contribute to the economy.
True.
And as soon as you touch 45, pretty much every door is closed for you. The only doors that will remain open are the business immigration, where you invest some money, just like EB5 here.
Right.
That
Right.
only that door will be open for even Canada and European countries and Australia. So as if you have not touched 40, I strongly recommend that if you don't have the money to invest in US, try to file any skill-based immigration anywhere else as a backup. And if you have the money and you want to stay in US, then go for EB5 immediately. At least you will get EAD within 3, 4 months because the date is current. It's completely legal process. So that is one way to secure your spot. And the other option is EB1. If you can qualify for EB1, go for it. don't fall for those companies who are promising to create your profile. Okay, of late USCIS has started revoking those EB ones. So your money will be gone, your time will be gone, and you will have a record of misinterpreting and using third-party services to create the profile. So that is actually dangerous. They might get approvals, like couple of them are out of 100, and then they will show you as 100% success rate, but that's not the truth.
True.
Okay, so right,
Yeah.
see, everyone from their heart would know that if they qualify for EB1 or not. You just, if you know that you are an EB1 candidate, then you just need a little push. Okay, it should not be like, I want to play cricket for India, but I don't know even how to play cricket, and then I'm filing for EB1, right? But if you have played Ranji and you know cricket, then you know that, okay, you have the chance to play for India. That's the difference. Okay, what these EB1 companies are doing is they are asking any gully boy to say that, oh, we'll make you play for India. Don't worry.
Yep.
Okay, and then they are asking for money, and then things go wrong, and then they start crying. So
Yep.
that way you just sit down, relax, because you are safe right now, but at least take 10-15 days, devise a plan, because things can change very drastically next year.
True.
Just
Yep.
plan for it, find out your resources, join groups. Like if you have made up your mind, you will find a way. Okay, it's not only about money. Because if you came to US on H1B visa, there was something that that triggered you. You were the one who wanted to come and you came to US. So the next step is also possible. You just have to find a way to do it.
True.
Right? You just think positive. If you have decided that you want to stay back here, then find a way and get it done. Don't wait. The the wait time is over now.
Yep. Agree.
Yeah, that's my opinion, and I hope it helped.
No, you perfectly makes sense, and I'm aware of all the options that you highlighted. It's just that, as you
Right.
rightly
Yeah.
said, right, time is now. It's not like tomorrow. Right? So I think you
Yeah.
should put
Exactly.
down your
Yeah.
options and reevaluate the situation and see what best
Yeah.
suits to you. So,
Right. Right. So if you cannot do any of these options and the only option is to wait for you, then I strongly suggest that create a backup option, like maybe
right,
Canada, maybe any other country. Or
right.
if you're okay to go back to India, then it's your choice. Then
Yeah,
there's no need
it's
to worry.
always
Yeah.
that's always a
Yeah.
default choice everyone has. So,
Exactly. So there is nothing wrong in going back to India, but you should make up your mind for that, okay? So that you don't lose your sleep over these visa issues and other stuff. If as a family you're okay to go back, that's fine. Just make up
yeah,
your mind and
yeah,
work on that path. That's how I feel should be done.
right, right, yeah, sure, yeah, with you on
Yeah.
it.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot
Thanks,
for
man.
joining and asking this question.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Anil.
So you're Nilanjan, right?
No, so this is, I think my Twitter account name is my nickname called Munna, right? So,
Oh, okay, Munna. Okay.
yeah,
Thanks, Munna.
but yeah, but I go by Mohan, so that's my actual name. So,
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Munna versus Mohan. Alias Mohan, not versus.
yeah. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
created this long back, so yeah, I didn't realize
that's fine.
it matches with my email account as well, I just went with that. So, and I don't use it much, so
Okay.
not an
Yeah,
official
that's
account.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. Thanks for joining and sharing the important point.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Anil. Thanks for
And
all your insights. Really helpful,
yeah,
and not, I think, not just to me, right? So, last 5 minutes, what you have been talking about applies to vast majority of the people who are in this situation today, right? So, yeah, not
right,
not just
right.
to the
Yeah,
group on this call, right? It's the time now, right? I think you should really evaluate what is your situation, whichever career level you're on, right? Are you
right.
at the mid level, or you at the junior level, or a senior level, right? So I'm pretty high on the senior level, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense when you talk about what options I have, right? Sit down and put a plan, and then start executing towards one that best suits you. So yeah,
right. Yeah, because that
thanks for
will give you
summarizing
peace
it.
of mind and it will cover your back for the next action that the government takes,
Exactly.
right? Because you have already decided and you're working on that path.
Right. especially people, not especially people, but I think we have made good. With
Right.
the hope of living long here, right? So I'm adding that point, right? So with the hope of living long here, right? So you make certain choices in your life on into certain forms of investment into different asset classes, right? So and the situation that you're explaining, right? So one order, right? So imagine, right? So people who are here have invested heavily. It's the growth, their personal growth, right? Their financial situation, their wealth planning, right? So whichever the country you're currently on, it makes sense to have your financial planning, wealth planning, be it in the same country, right? I'm sitting in US, I cannot do my wealth planning in India, right? So yeah, none of these have been considered, would be considered, I believe, right? So it's, and you said, right, the sentiments across the globe is warm now, right? It's
Yeah.
probably right time to look out the best options that suits. Right? So
Right. Right. Yeah. And take action immediately.
take action
Uh,
immediately. That's more important.
yeah. Yeah. Don't wait. Yeah. That's my personal suggestion as a friend, that don't wait.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Decide quickly and move quickly, because things may get bad pretty soon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely boosted me. So thanks, Anil. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. And if any of you guys want to hear the success stories, I can tell a lot of success stories. Okay. I think recently I shared one, I think 6 months ago. Last year, someone called me and they were in a very, critical situation. Last year when Biden
You're
government was
talking
there,
about
okay?
EB1, uh,
EB5, EB5.
EB5. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
that guy was a little dicey about EB1 versus EB5, and their kid was 17. Okay, so they were not sure which way to go. So I
looks
suggested them that,
looks to be very similar case. I don't want to give a lot of personal information of mine on this chat,
yeah,
not knowing others here, but yeah, it does look to be a very similar.
a
Go ahead.
lot of
I'm listening, so I think
yeah,
others can also learn from it. So yeah.
yeah, I know a lot of us are in the similar situation, and he wanted to be just on one side. He was very, sad that, he already spent more than 10 years and still there was no hope of getting the B21 through. Right? Because it's a long wait that demoralizes you more than anything else. So he just wanted to get rid of it somehow. So and he was very sure about EV1, to be frank. But I told him that, EV1, they will show you the, rosy picture, that they will create your profile, this and that. But you know it from your heart that the same story that I told you here, I told him that, it's better that you take calculated risk. The date is current in EV5 and it's not current in EV1. Okay. So if you want to spend money, spend it on EV5. It's an investment. Just invest and you will get it. At least you will get EAD. Okay. It's a legal process. There is nothing wrong with it. You're perfectly fine to do it. He filed it last year. Last year, remember? And last year there was noise that the EV5 dates will retrogress, okay, when he was trying to do it. But I told him just go ahead, file it. It's okay even if it goes back. You will get EAD, right? So you will be out of that H1B thing. And he filed it. He just, I couldn't believe that he just went. He filed it within next 10 days. He got the green card this year. Can you believe it? So you just have to move fast, take action, and you will be out of it if you can make it happen. That's the key word. There are legal ways to do it, but if you keep sitting on it, then you might lose that. When you might miss the bus, as they say, right? So,
So,
and the second thing is, as Indians, I understand that we are very sensitive about money and spending money, but you have to understand the other part as well, that you are in a capitalist country. Okay. This country gives you the opportunities to run, but if you just keep sitting on your money, then you will never be able to. Okay, you are not in India where the money goes to the taxes and then you don't get back in it. This country makes you run if you have the money. It can just make you fly, right? This is the land of opportunities. Make use of it. Make the money work for you. Change your thought process, and you will get what you want. See, even with the guards, what they're trying to tell you that just pay us the money and we'll get you. We'll give you the guard, right? Because the whole economy works on this concept that if you have the capital, just use it. Just don't sit on it. Okay? I may have gone too much into it, but that's the crux of the matter that if you take action, you will find your way to what you want.
But right now, EB5, every month they are saying it would retrogress, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
So
that's the risk
last
is always there.
risk is always there in getting up tomorrow also. Okay. Your heart may stop. In COVID, the risk was of life every day, right? And to be frank, last year, exact same thing. That guy spoke to me, and there were talks that, it will retrogress. He was talking to me in July of 2024. And there were talks that, in October bulletin, the date will go back. But then I told him, because he was inclined towards EV1, I told him, don't go for EV1. You will waste your time. It's better you just get things done. He filed it in August. He got the green card this year. So it depends. Date never went back. He took the risk and he got the result. So it can happen also, right? It can happen next month that the dates go back. And what is the guarantee that you will get it in EB2? Tell me. What is the
Yeah,
guarantee that you will have your H1B job next month? So it's just a way of looking at the situation. I'm not saying that I'm right and you are wrong. I'm just saying that think differently and you might get what you want. Okay,
Well,
at
yeah,
in
least at
EB5, there
least
is a something like if it goes back, it is not easy to come back to, in October again next year. It once it goes back,
no,
it will be there for years.
no. It's not like that.
Okay.
It's the same concept as EB2, EB1, and EB2. Okay, but that's a different call. We can discuss EB5 in some other call.
yeah.
But the main
Anil,
point
just one question
there
I
is
have is,
just 1 second. Someone
yeah,
has very big background noise. Yeah. Okay. That fixed. So my main point is that if you are looking for a solution to your current situation, if you're stuck in H1B and your date is not going to be current in next 5 years, then there are possible different ways that you can fix it. But if you don't want to go that way or you don't want to take that risk, then it's fine. Because I'm just talking about the mental state. If you want to take a decision, whether you want to stay and wait or whether you want to move in a different lane and go ahead. That's a decision you have to make. I can only tell you the positive stories or how to look at the situation differently, but at the end of the day, it is your choice how you want to look at it. Okay, yeah. Somebody wanted to speak. Please go ahead.
yeah. So, Anil, just one quick question for me. Just thinking through all this kind of tightening of legal immigration avenues, what are your thoughts on how this could potentially impact the movement of priority days over the next couple years?
Priority date, because see, priority date is decided by the first in, first out. So people who are already there will be there, right? So it will only start affecting for people who are coming in the queue next year. People who are going to join the H1B queue next year will be counted in they are pretty far behind already in the queue, right?
Yeah, I mean, my question is like, for example, like I think in the EB2 category or EB3 category and
Mhm.
all that, I mean, that's where vast majority of Indians are waiting for green cards, right? And
Right.
with all this tightening of immigration, like the rest of the other countries, so India has 7% cap, right? But the all the
Mhm.
other countries, if they, I don't know if they are close to current or current, and if there's not enough slots in the other countries, then those excess would go to the backlog country, right? So do you
Mhm.
predict that when all the other legal avenues are getting tightened, would there be more flow into EB2, EB3, hence pushing some of these dates forward?
Even if it does, I don't think it's going to make very meaningful difference, to be frank. Right? Because see, every year we get how much collectively for EB5, 10,000 green cards for India, right? Out of 140K. What difference is it going to make even if like 100 people are sent back? If their I-140 is approved, they are going to file green card when the date gets current anyway. Because we confuse H1B with I-140. H1B is just a visa to stay in the US. The main thing is I-140. All those I-140s are approved and they are in the queue. They are not going to leave the queue just because their H1B was cancelled. They can go to India and sit there and wait for their date to get current, and then they will file the green card claim. So I don't really see that it will make any meaningful difference. So the queues will keep staying, keep moving this at the same pace. Not
Hmm.
a major difference. That's my opinion. I may be wrong.
No,
Uh,
but I mean, for
it's,
India, it's all backlogged. I understand India and China, it's backlogged, but for the rest of the countries, they are.
mhm,
I've not seen the dates yet, but my thought is they are either close to current or current.
mhm.
Um, And when there is a tightening of the whole immigration process across the board, when all the other countries are not utilizing their quota of available green cards, right?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that
that
flow into the backlog? So, like, let's say
Yeah,
not this year, but let's say 26,
yeah,
27, because now
yeah,
Balaji.
if,
that might,
yeah,
Yeah,
that might,
Balaji.
that
Balaji, this is Hari. That is not the. That is the thing, right? Only because any country who has a huge backlog, they end up with this cycle. They come with H1B, okay, before 6 years, file perm, and 140 approved. For the rest of the world, if the dates are current, they if they studied like masters and all, there is a clause is there. They directly file without H1B, they can directly file 140 and all. That is how they come. They won't come like us, like they come as a student and OPT from their H1. They won't come like directly from their home country to H1 through these companies. Or also they won't do go to H1 from L1 to H1. All those things won't be there for them. Okay, and
no,
the
that,
rest of the world already backlogged. It is impossible. It is impossible. 30 years we are seeing. They won't give more than 3,000. Only COVID time. Even COVID time, nobody is there. Embassies are closed. That is the only scenario. Even then, they wasted 40,000. It is impossible unless otherwise any kind president and kind senators and everybody agreed. They only give. They you never ever expected anything will happen. Rest of the world also backlogged. You see that dates, right? Okay, there are 194 countries are there. The only thing what USCS rule, every country has given at most 3,000, 7% of 140. That's it. EB2 and EB3. Even worst case spillover also, it will come to EB1. EB1 India is also a lot of backlogs are there. So never ever expected. Only 3,000 only. Last 40 years, 30 years I am seeing. I don't think so. My 95%, unless otherwise, like COVID like scenarios, some kind president and kind senators understanding our pain. Okay, okay, let's improve. Based on population, we can improve some green cards. Somebody will decide yes, yes, and no. But, and also the execution also differently. Even if we have a spillover also, even 1 million people are waiting for green cards, they won't give on the first day of the calendar year. They will give quarter by quarter. See, their aim is, USC's aim is, encourage all countries given green cards distributed equally. That is the motto. That's what they are saying.
right. So is
Even
it Bala? Is it Bala who is speaking? Balaji?
no, I am Hari. I am answering for Bala.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Hari, yeah, yeah, Hari, you have a valid point and you rightly explained the process.
Yeah, even
I,
immigration lawyers also, they were shocked the way green cards are distributed, because during the COVID time, no one is there in the queue, and 1 million people are waiting just for 40,000. They never give on the first day. They give slowly. By the time, sometime the embassies are open. So the one when somebody will ask USCS, USCS came back and say, this is not the way the law is defined. We want to be make sure that we have to encourage all the countries. That's what it is. Even some
right.
people, right? I was shocked by USCS.
there are some people who green card, they got a green card, they went to India. After 6 years, they realized and their green card expired. When they applied, they asked them to file a extension for the green card, that one, the expired green card, and they came also.
Yeah.
See that?
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
let
that's
me.
how USCS and all. So that's all. It's come from the, like, the government should direct USCS.
Right, right.
Unless
Well,
otherwise, no one will do that. It's a status quo
yeah.
for them.
Let me add my 2 cents to it. So I think your question was about whether the family spillover and other spillovers will help Indian EB2 or not, right?
Yeah,
That
not
was your
only family.
primary.
What he's saying, and
Yeah,
Anil,
my
yeah,
general question was,
is,
will
yeah,
there be any
because,
forward
yeah,
movement in
Yes,
EB2,
yes,
EB3 dates
yeah,
because
for
of the
employment
entire
itself.
tightening of, I
Yeah,
mean, it's across the board, right? Like they seem to be
right.
tightening immigration across the board. So when they're doing that, will there be any forward, can we
yeah,
expect any forward
yeah.
movement in EB2, EB3?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
And also
we
one
can
more
expect.
thing. Yeah, one more thing. Family to employee, this spillover will be there. But employee to employee, I don't know. There's a lot of complex formulas are there. But don't
Right.
expect. Yeah,
Yeah, but yes, you're right. Family to employment spillover is expected, and it might happen. And yes, the dates might move forward, but the reality is that they will most probably waste the green cards as they did in COVID. They wasted 80,000 green cards, which
yeah.
could have made the dates current.
Because they
That's
care.
the reality.
Yeah,
So practically, yes, they might move the date forward and ask you to file, and then if they ask you to file like in date of filing chart, then that's a very good thing because that way you will get the EAD. Okay, but the chances are high that they will waste the green cards because as I'm hearing today, they are reducing the workforce from USCIS, and basically that will clog the processing time and sorry, increase the processing time and clog a lot of things at USCIS. I was reading one Reddit page today, which was written by the USCIS officer who has taken a voluntary retirement today, and he was explaining that how things are being done, and they are not very encouraging. So he was saying that the system is going to be in a complete jam next year. So expect increased processing times and a lot of wastage is what his message was, that don't expect that things will move quickly for you. So practically, yes, to answer your question, yes, the spillover will move the dates forward, but there is no guarantee that they will process all those extra green cards and
yeah.
the dates will move. Yes.
Yeah, the family spillover should come to the employment based, not employment based spillover to employment based. That's what in COVID happened. Those 220 at the time, right? All embassies are closed. The 220 application, 220K applications, right? So the family spillover, I think, came. It's not from employment. I think so. There's a formula. This
Yeah, that was yes, that was the
mm,
family to employment spillover.
employment
Yes.
spillover.
But thanks, Balaji, for asking an important question. Anybody else who wants to share their opinion or have a question? Okay, if you don't have any question, I'll take a question from YouTube. Nilanjan Nag is asking, I'm currently on H1B with approved I-140 valid till Feb 2026. My company is filing for renewal. Does the 100K applies to my case? As of now, no, you are safe because you're filing an extension, but you never know about the future. Right now, you're safe, is my opinion. And I'm not an attorney. I have to keep repeating. Okay, I think someone requested to speak.
Yeah, Anil,
Okay.
this is Gopal. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I think you're too close to the mic. Can you just go a
One
little bit
second, one
away?
second, one second.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, now you're too far away.
so
Just yeah, be in the middle.
yeah, I just want to ask. You're talking about EB5, right? Like I got my green card through EB1B, but I'm asking this for some friends. So
Okay.
like maybe I don't want to go too much into detail, but just like a overview. Like so if you invest like 800K, right? Like what how what time before like you can recoup your investment, or is there a chance that that investment, or you can't get back those investment at all?
Those are very, very deep questions. That's the financial aspect of the EB5. So it's not, possible to discuss it here. It's very deep.
Okay,
You
okay,
need,
okay.
yeah. So maybe I'll try to do an EB5 session
Sure.
someday and we can all discuss and I can
Okay,
answer whatever I know about EB5 in detail there,
okay.
right?
No
But yeah,
problem.
thanks for asking. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, next question from YouTube is I'm getting option to move to Canada, Montreal. I'm 44 years old. Will I get PR easily considering age? I have current project until November and have 1.4 year remaining in H1B. Can I move back India too? Well, you have asked too many questions. You can move back to India anytime. India will take you if you are an Indian citizen. And we have Arsenal here. He's from Canada and he's a listener today, but he would have told you about the Canadian situation more and much better than me because he's from Canada. And let's see if he can join as a speaker. Okay. But I think, as far as I understand the Canadian system, at 44 years old, it will be very difficult for you to get the points unless you have the job offer from Canadian employer. If you have the Canadian employer uh, thing, then yes, you can. Okay, Arsenal is joining as a speaker. Arsenal, what do you think? 44 years old and Canadian PR, is it realistic?
Yeah, so I mean, it's not possible, unfortunately, unless
Yeah.
you are a nurse or you are in a kind of healthcare profession,
Okay.
because the scores are already above 500, and
Yeah.
I mean, not even at 44, even at 34, you will not be able to reach 500 points because it's you have to score full marks in IELTS, and your wife also has to score full marks in IELTS. Still, it will not reach 500
Yeah.
points. So don't move
Yeah.
to Canada. If you can learn French and scored very high in that, that is a pathway available in Canada right now. But of course, at this age, learning any language is very difficult. So learning French and scoring such high points.
But
Uh,
he
yeah.
mentioned that he's getting option to move to Canada. I'm not sure if he has got the job
So
offer or not.
even with the job offer, it's not possible.
Okay, so
I'm talking about PR, not work permit.
okay,
Work permit you will get. It will get. You can keep on
hmm
extending the work permit as much as you want.
okay.
I'm talking about the PR.
So
Uh,
with work
yeah.
experience, they don't increase the points.
No,
I mean,
now they
you
don't.
can. Earlier
They
they were giving
yeah.
600 points.
Earlier they were giving 50 points
Okay,
for work permit. There is a provision of high managerial jobs, and
okay,
that is like very high level jobs.
okay,
In that you can get 200 points. So that is the option you should explore if
okay,
if you're in a very high rank in your company. That is the
okay,
only option you create. But I don't know. You must contact a lawyer in Canada before moving there. I think they can guide you, but 90% of it is the chances of getting a PR in Canada is now very bleak unless you are a student and you score very highly in I mean, you should be below 30. You should have been a student. You should have a 1 or 2 years experience. You
Mm-hmm.
had done your graduation from Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and you should have full marks in IELTS. So that is the
Okay.
only way, or you learn French and score very high in French. These are the pathways to, or either you are a nurse or in a healthcare profession, then you have a chance because they have quotas for that.
Okay.
Rest all is luck. I mean, it's not, but it's very, very difficult. I mean, in Canada
Yeah.
also, Canada is not as simple as it was probably 2 years ago. Canada is also very tough. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that window is also gone. Yeah.
Mhm.
What he's saying is his position. His company is moving the position from New York to Montreal, and then I think he has got the work permit, and then he wants to
Yeah, so
come.
at least you can live in Canada,
Yeah.
and you can keep on extending your work permit in Canada. That will not be a problem for 5, 6 years at least. I
Okay.
mean, you don't know which
Mhm.
go right now we have a liberal government in Canada, so that
Mhm.
is relatively, but they are just so the party which was under Trudeau is still ruling Canada. So, I mean, even after so much anti-immigrant campaign, that party still managed to win again. The Liberal Party of Canada, which is like the Democrat Party of USA, they still somehow holded the ground and they won the election. So they are not anti-immigration, but they know that there is a anti-immigration sentiment amongst the people. So they are not encouraging the PRs and immigration like Trudeau was encouraging. So that's the difference. So yeah, that's the point. But you can apply for
Okay.
the work permit and you can keep on living here. That is relatively safer option compared to US, where all this 1,000 thing and 100,000 thing. If you wanted to, if you don't wanted to get into that mess, you can move to Canada. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I mean you will earn less money, but um, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I have a quick question around this. Like, how does this work permit works in Canada? Like, do we have any specific visas or
yeah.
something?
You should have a,
Mhm.
I mean, an employment offer, and that is more than enough.
Okay.
I mean, but the problem in Canada is that the work permit is only for 2 years, so you
Okay.
need to keep on extending after
Okay.
after 2 years. Yeah, so it's not the bigger one like 3 years or 6 years in US. It
Okay.
is just 2 years work permit.
So,
So
how
yeah,
does
yeah.
this extension work? Like, I have some plans to go back to Canada. So, like, let's say like I have got work for me for the 2 years, right? Then, like, how that extension would work? Is that easy process
So
or? Hmm.
it is easy as long as you have a proper employer with who is willing to give you all the documents
Okay.
and the employment offer. I mean that 99%, 95% you can keep on extending your work permit as long as you have proper documents and your employer is supportive.
Hmm.
You can keep on extending your work permit. But yeah, the PR thing, which was a bit easier a few years ago, that is not so easy anymore because people have realized over time that only Canada was the only country which was giving PRs. Rest all countries were not giving. Especially under Trudeau, a lot of people got PR, but that played against him, and I mean that people wanted Trudeau out. Trudeau eventually got out, but his party won the election. But this party is not that. immigration friendly as Trudeau was. So that's and the next party which will come, uh, they will come in 2029, which will be the Republican version of Canada. So that will be the Conservative Party. They will definitely not support any immigration whatsoever. So if you, I mean, better move to Canada before that and get a PR. I mean, which is already difficult anyways. I mean, that's the story of Canada right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Arsenal.
Yeah, that's really
Okay.
Arsenal. Thank you so much.
Yep. Anyone else wants to share their opinion or have a question that we can discuss?
Yeah, this is Srikanth. Am I audible?
Hi, Shrikant. Yes, you are
So I
audible.
have a general query for H1B. So actually, I'm in India. So in 2023, Capgemini filed my H1B petition. So I got the visa as well from
Okay.
Capgemini. So after that, in India, I left the Capgemini. So I got the good opportunity in India. I left the Capgemini, but the still visa with Capgemini. Let's say if I rejoin in Capgemini now, can I utilize that visa to get into US?
Visa stamp in the passport, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, as long as the Visa stamp has not expired, you can use it for any
Yeah,
company.
that is till 2026 September.
Yeah, it is allowed to use that Visa stamp.
Okay. So one more thing, if they want to extend the visa, let's say if I join in Capgemini, so
Mhm.
does 100K dollars will applicable for this case also?
Right now, not, but it is very dicey situation. Are you physically in the US or not?
No, no, I'm in India only.
Oh, you are in India.
Yeah, I never into
So,
US.
oh, you never came to US.
Yeah, yeah, because I left the Capgemini in India as well, so that's why I'm in the different company right now.
Okay.
So actually, my old manager is asking me to join Capgemini for the on-site opportunity.
So your case is still not clear. Okay. As of now, the information that I have, you are in gray area. We don't know whether they will ask you to pay 100K or not. We don't know about that with 100% surety. Yeah. So talk
But
to your
if
attorney.
I get
They might.
into US before 2026 September, so I can utilize that visa, right?
No, no, you already have H1B. So you are already in that situation now.
Okay.
Yeah. So just talk to your attorney because they may have more information. But as of now, as per my understanding, your case is not clear. Whether you have to pay or not, I don't know.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else has any question about Canada while we have Arsenal here? He has very good knowledge about Canada and he can tell you where to enjoy the winter also. It looks like no questions. Satya on YouTube is asking, it's a continuing question. Although I got a new client from my payroll company to start from November, but considering H1B unexpected unknown thing, want to check if moving Canada is a viable option. I think Arsenal clearly mentioned that it's very difficult to get the PR at this age because you might not be able to clear the points. Okay, so that seems difficult. I think Canada also has a business investment plan. If you invest in a rural area and start up a business, if I'm not wrong, it is 200,000 Canadian dollars, right?
Yeah, I mean, better consult a Canadian lawyer. You can do that via mail
Yeah,
as well, and just to seek out the options. So obviously,
right.
organically, it's very difficult in Canada. I mean, if you're a normal person on job, looking
Yeah.
for PR is difficult. But there are pathways which are available. Like if your wife can do a nursing course here in US or Canada,
Okay. Okay.
they can, I mean, Canada and US both have the same system. So any
Uh-huh.
nursing course or healthcare course done in any of the countries is
Uh-huh.
acceptable in both countries. So
Okay.
that
That
is, yeah, yeah.
That is giving you more points, right, for that nursing job.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
will directly give you a pathway. So here what is happens is that state can also recommend your PR.
Right,
So
right.
eventually it will be given by the federal government, but state
Mm-hmm.
government can nominate you. Like if you are living in US, Texas can or Florida can recommend you
Right.
that this person is we need this person, so
Mm-hmm.
they can nominate you and add 600 points into your profile. So
Right.
I mean, as the score is 500, obviously if you get 600 points, you will get you will get your ITA is the I mean final documentation submission request you will get. So there are pathways in each and every province, but it's not simple. It's very limited. I mean, every province has limited nominations left. They have their own criterias. They have their uh, they have limited slots, and there are already people who are jumping on those slots. So behind,
Okay.
yeah, so behind every slots there are 10 people who are already looking for that slot. So it's a very difficult situation, but there are pathways which are available. So you can consult a lawyer. Um, I mean, there are lots of lawyer available. So
Mm-hmm.
there is Kuber Kamal. There is a very big lawyer in Ontario, in
Mm-hmm.
Toronto. So, but he charges a lot of fees. So, I
Yeah, I
would
think he,
recommend. Yeah.
I think I've seen his ad. It says
Yes.
luxury,
Yes.
some kind of luxury immigration, something like that, right?
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
he is very. He is very. He's like the PhD of Canadian immigration. He has been there.
Okay.
He knows the system in and out. But his
Mm-hmm.
consultation fees is also miss. It's like 1,000 per meeting with him. So it's
Okay.
very costly. But he, I mean, he can. If you have the money, just go to him. If there is any possibility or any loophole in the system, he
Mm-hmm.
will definitely guide you. I mean, he can do that. And if you wanted to go for the cheaper options, there are options available, but try to do R&D before reaching any lawyer. I mean, check the reviews, how they are, and then only go for that. So
Right,
there are
right.
s- uh, there are provisions available, but obviously there is a lot of competition as well. Yeah, that's the
Right.
situation.
Yeah, interestingly, nobody asked about 1 million gold card today. Usually people are very interested, but nobody nobody was curious about it today. But anyways, so to sum up today's call, I think we are almost done and people are also leaving. So to sum up, the situation today is that they're trying to carve out exceptions for doctors. It is not official yet, but they might announce it. And the second thing is for renewals, the situation is pretty clear that USCIS is not asking for $100,000, but for transfers, change of status, and amendments, the situation is still gray. Most of the attorneys are just saying that, wait and watch until the USCIS comes out with very clear instructions if you have to pay or not. Right now, the understanding is that if you're physically in the US, then yes, you might not have to pay, but they don't know whether if you travel tomorrow and come back, and then in that case, if you have to pay $100,000 or not. So yeah, I'm also listening to a lot of them and trying to form my opinion, and I'll keep sharing on my Twitter and WhatsApp. And if you can follow me on YouTube also, I'll be sharing the information as I know it. And thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks, Arsenal, for your detailed information. I really appreciate it. And thanks, everyone, for joining tonight. I'll try to keep doing these kind of live sessions so that we can share more information as we get it. Thanks and good night. Bye.